Hey everyone, it is Rylan. It's 7:36 on Wednesday, May 7th, 2017, and I wanted to make a video about self-care tips when it comes to dissociation. People struggle with dissociation for a number of reasons, whether they have an anxiety disorder, or they have PTSD, or they have borderline personality disorder, and a whole host of other mental illnesses that cause people to dissociate. Dissociation is basically when a person loses touch with reality and no longer feels like themselves. They become numb, disconnected from the world. Sometimes you're not able to speak. Sometimes you're not able to move. Basically, it's the scariest thing ever. I have a video, two videos. I have one video while I'm actually dissociating, and I have one video on what dissociation is, where I go into further detail about what dissociation is. But I wanted to make this video today because I've learned a lot of self-care tips when it comes to when I'm dissociating, and I just kind of wanted to share them with the internet. So I have 10 tips on what to do when you are in a dissociative episode. So tip number 1, you can use your senses as a way to take yourself out of dissociation. So the first way you can do that is by simply using a scented lotion to bring you back to your senses and try to bring you back in your body. So pick something strong, maybe like a lavender vanilla or whatever your favorite, like lilac is a good one. Citrus scents are really good. Anything that you can do to kind of put on your hands and just smell. It brings you into the present moment, and it can sometimes calm you down. Along with the senses, I personally am a big fan of candles, and I have a box full of candles. I'm running a little low, but I have a box full of candles. I get these little candles from Bed Bath & Beyond. I think they're $1.99 each, and they work really well. They're pretty powerful. Personally, my favorite scent is sage and citrus. Oh my god, it's so calming, and these are pretty potent. And if you just get like a little votive or something like that to put your candle in, it might be a nice way to just kind of chill, because aromatherapy is definitely really helpful when dealing with mental illness stuff. Another sensory tool that you can use is using your 5 senses. So if you are, personally I live in New York, and I dissociate a lot when I'm coming back from therapy and I have to be on the train for a half hour to get home. So it's really a good idea if you can use your 5 senses. So if you can name 5 things you can see, whether that be colors, people's faces, if people are wearing glasses, hair colors, whatever, things you can hear, different fabrics and tactile touches. Okay, my shirt's soft, my hat is rough, my bracelets are bendy, that's not, whatever, stringy, whatever the fuck. And smell and taste are pretty difficult, because if you're in like a small space, like a subway car, it's hard to identify different smells unless someone around you has really strong perfume or something. But that's where, using lotion or a candle or something can be kind of helpful. One of my favorite smells to use is something called Florida water. I'm going to show you guys the bottle. I put this, I don't fucking know where it is, but I have a little, spray bottle. I can't believe I don't know where, oh, here we go. I have a little spray bottle, that I put the Florida water in. You can get this online. I think it's like $3 or something, and I don't know how to describe the smell, but like I will say that my therapist uses this in her office because it's very calming. So whenever I walk into her office, I smell this Florida water, and she actually got this for me as a gift. So I find when I'm dissociating to use one of my senses is I will spray the Florida water around my room or even on my clothing, because as strange smelling as this is, it is actually a cologne, which I think is weird. Like, personally, I don't know why you would want to smell like this, but like, do you? If that, you know, whatever. It has a very specific scent. So besides like using lotion, a candle, Florida water or whatever, tactile stuff is really important. Personally, I have this ball from Isoflex. It is a sand ball, and it really helps me when I'm like stressed out or I need to be grounded because it keeps my hands busy. It's really, you know, it's sand, so it's very pliable and you can certainly move it around. So sometimes I find myself throwing it back and forth, throwing it in the air, trying to catch it, or just simply squeezing it in my hand. It's like a stress ball, but it's just a little more gooey. Another thing that you can do is color. I personally have a coloring book that I have. It's an adult coloring book, so the pages like are pretty, you know, intense. But I'll show you guys some of the drawings that I've done. Usually I only use this book if I've been dissociated. Very rarely have I colored in this book, like just for shits and giggles, because the patterns are so fucking intense. But it's a really good way to focus your mind and to do one single task, to kind of take your mind and focus on something instead of just kind of being all over the place. So this is one drawing that I've done. It's an elephant. I'm really proud of that. That took a really long time to do. This is one that I'm working on. I'm not quite finished with this. I'm a really big fan of neon colors, if you can't tell. I'm almost done with this one. Almost done with this one. And then one that oh, here's another one. That's with colored pencils. Then the one that I just finished yesterday is this. How fucking pretty is that, you guys? This took like 2 days worth of dissociation to happen. But it happened, and for me it personally really works because my mind is focused on one thing, and it just occupies your time. I mean, if you really want to finish one of these, it's going to take you like a couple hours, because there's just so much detail. Another great tool is journaling or writing, and just do free association writing. Don't even try and like craft together beautiful artistic statements. Just simply write how you're feeling. Even if it doesn't make sense in the moment or after you're reading it, that's okay. Just find a way to get your feelings out, whether it's typing on your computer or handwriting. Personally, I type on my computer because I'm able to write faster than my mind is able to write, than my hand is able to write, and I found that to be really therapeutic. I also am a writer, so I've posted a lot of my posts on my blog, which is my WordPress blog. It's the Ryland Files, which is the same as my YouTube channel. So feel free to check that out. I definitely talk about my mental illness. I do want to say a trigger warning. There is a lot of mention of self-harm. There is some mention of suicidal tendencies and ideation. Some mentions of sexual assault. But overall, that's been really therapeutic to me, and I'm able to help people through sharing my story, which is why I'm making this video and I have a channel in the first place. Another thing that can help me is watching one of my favorite TV shows, movies, or even like a favorite YouTube channel and watching YouTube videos. I actually made a list. I have no idea what notebook it is in, because I have like 80,000 notebooks, but I literally went through my DVD and TV collection, and I wrote out my favorite movies, the ones that I can watch time and time again that I'm never going to get bored of, movies that are comforting to me. So maybe you have a Netflix queue that you want to start watching, or I would honestly suggest choosing things that you already find comfort in, because if you're going to start a new TV show while you're dissociated, it might be really hard to stay focused on the storyline and new characters and like new character development. So I would personally choose something that you find comforting. And then along with that, music. Music can be really therapeutic. I suggest using headphones specifically because it's going to be closer, you know, in your ears, and you're going to hear it better versus like just playing off of your computer where you can just still be all over the place. Whereas if you have headphones, it'll cause you to be a little more present. And then last, I have two more. Another thing is meditation. Meditation and muscle relaxation can be really important for dissociative episodes. There are so many YouTube meditations for like anything, whether you have PTSD, self-harm, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, like whatever the fuck you're dealing with, or if you just want to listen to a thunderstorm, you can listen to a meditation, a guided meditation on YouTube, and that can be really calming. And then I saved the most extreme one for last because this is what I use when I am in a really bad dissociative episode where I can barely talk, function, do anything. And it falls under the TIPS skills, which is a DBT-based skill set. I suggest looking into the other options of TIPS, but the one I'm going to focus on is the T in TIPS, and that has to do with temperature. This is going to sound really extreme, but like I said, this has worked for me every time I've had the balls to use it. Number one is taking an extremely cold shower. Like, I'm not talking like kind of chilly, cold. That will change your body temperature and will make your brain more aware of the sensations that are happening in your body and snap you back into reality. Beyond that, if you don't want to submerge your whole body in a cold shower, you can't take a shower, whatever the fuck, just simply using ice on your hands, your face, your body, an ice pack, whatever. But the most intense thing that I've used that has worked every single time is filling a bowl, a big bowl, like maybe a popcorn bowl or salad bowl, with ice cold water and then actual ice cubes. And what I do is I submerge my face in the bowl of ice water and I hold my breath as long as I can, and then I pull myself out. And sometimes I have to do this like 5 or 6 times, but eventually it will shock your body it will shock you to be in your body. So those are just some tips. I think that's like 10 or 11 or 12, I don't fucking know, tips that I've used to try and ground myself and remain in my body when I am tempted to drift away, whether that's due to a traumatic situation, a trigger. Personally, I dissociate when I drink alcohol. That is almost like a guaranteed thing that's going to happen, is that I'm going to dissociate if I have like a drink or more. So I hope these work for you. If you happen to use any of these skills based on this video, feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to hear what you guys think, if these have worked for you. If not, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. But I can definitely say not all of these techniques are going to work for everyone, but I guarantee you at least one of these will work for you, especially when it comes to the tip skills. If you take a cold shower, put your fucking face in ice, like, you are going to be in your body again, no matter how far away you are. So I hope this was helpful, and yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. All right, bye.